the Pak jihadi chief, the man who promoted himself as the field marshal, someone who's behind what happened vis-a-vis the Pahalgam terror attack, that same man, that same jihadi general, remember, has been invited to the US. Tomorrow he's going to be landing in Washington. If you're wondering why, he's been invited for Donald Trump's military parade. Imagine. So much for condemnation of terror. It's become a joke. I mean, not to forget that this same Donald Trump, umpteen number of times, remember, he's never missed an opportunity to tell the world that he's the one who's brokered a deal, a peace deal, a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Something that New Delhi has rubbished time and again. But in spite of that, Donald Trump does not pull back. He continues to lie. Look at the hypocrisy of the West. Hypocrisy of the US in particular, that only and only thinks of its own strategic interests, its own self-interest. It is not an equal partner when it comes to the fight against terror. And that is why, remember, we've always said that this is India's fight. This is India's fight against terror. This is India's lonely battle. And that is why India and India alone can decide how it wants to deal with Pakistan. Something that we have done this time. And that might have irked and ruffled quite a few feathers. But so be it. I think that's a good way looking forward. Now let's come back to the man, Asim Munir. You know, the field marshal, whatever you want to call him. Now, the same US that has invited this man, and he's going to be in Washington in the next few hours. Remember, it is the same US, same Donald Trump that has hyphenated India and Pakistan. As if you can talk about India and Pakistan in the same breath, where one is the victim, one is the aggressor. And time and again, India has given dossiers to one government, one dispensation in US after the other. But has anything changed? The answer is absolutely no. When it comes to the IMF bailout, the US does nothing. When it comes to an assurance that India wants to say that, you know, on the Financial Action Task Force, please ensure that Pakistan remains in the grey list, does the US help? The answer again is no. When it comes to condemnation of terror, yes, you will see world pass saying, oh, we condemn terror. But that is not good enough. When it comes to acting against terror, acting against Pakistani rogue state, do you see the US, Europe, anyone else doing it? The answer is no. I think it was only Germany that very recently had said and putting out a statement appreciating the efforts by India in combating terror and saying we support India. But so much about this. Now, Munir's first visit, I must tell you, as the Pakistan's army chief in the US was in 2023. And then remember, he had met the then American Defense Secretary. And at that point also, that is in 2023, New Delhi had taken a very sharp response to this. And New Delhi had said that we hope that the other countries take note of counter-terrorism. Imagine that India had to say this. But did the world listen? Did America listen? The so-called superpower listen? The answer again is no. Then in April, because it doesn't just stop in 2023, in April this year, you also had a US delegation that meets with Munir in Rawalpindi. They fly down to meet this man in Rawalpindi, the headquarters of the deep state. And then can US tell us that we are with you in this fight against terror? At a point where the world is looking at its own self-interest, I think US must stop lecturing India. And I'm glad that we as a country are responding in kind to the US. Just about a few hours earlier, the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, has put out again a very important statement. The unequivocal message that India has stuck for. As far as the Prime Minister is concerned, the External Affairs Minister is concerned, the Raksha Mantri is concerned. And what is that? He said, and allow me to quote, that we don't care where these terror elements are. If they are deep in Pakistan, we will go deep in Pakistan. Clear, unambiguous. And India not mincing its word. And India also telling, I think in the US is as many terms, that we don't care about what you want to do. You might have strategic interests because, let's face it, US clearly will not call out a Pakistan because a Pakistan is the all-weather ally of China, the big brother, the dragon. The same dragon that stares at India and that wants to weaponize our waters when it comes to the Brahmaputra and a lot more other things. But US is wary today of this growing influence, this growing expansionist attitude of China. The reason why, when you have a China and you also have Pakistan getting in together to the BRI, that is the Belt Road Initiative, and also about the CPEC and a lot more other things that they are doing together. Not to forget a lot of these weapons, remember, you would recall 81% of the weapons came in from China to Pakistan that was used during this entire standoff. Pakistan is pummeled. India makes it very clear that we cannot be having business as usual with Pakistan. Then why should the US indulge with Pakistan at all if it is not for their hypocrisy? I think times are changing. This is a new India where you have a Modi doctrine that's in place and the new red lines. We don't care about the US or the world because the US is not caring about India. Let's not forget this. We on NDTV will continue to track the story.